Are you ready to go all in?
Let's do this. Let's do this. Let's do this.
And welcome to the All In Practice Growth Podcast. I'm your host, Shane McElroy. And as you know, this is the podcast that gives you a different perspective on the dental and medical industries. I want to say happy holidays and happy new year to all of you out there because this will be our last episode of 2025. And I've got the perfect guest for this episode. Reason being, this is the All In Practice Growth Podcast. And we have the Senior Director of Practice Growth for Straumann joining us today. Welcome to the podcast, Jami Levine. How are you doing, Jami?
Hi, good. I'm so happy to be here, even if my voice isn't completely here. I'm
What is
thrilled to
going
be
on?
joining. It's fall in Texas. This is like when the leaves
Ah.
fall, and it's the cedar and the pollen, and they love me. I'm struggling. I feel fine. I sound like I had a really great Christmas party last night. I wish
Yeah,
I
you
had
do.
a matching story to go with that.
Well, it just shows how tough you are battling through this. Most guests would have canceled until their voice
Hey,
felt a little bit better. But hey,
I
thank you for
know.
battling through for the podcast.
Last podcast of the year. Can't flake on you.
Oh, no way. You excited about 2026?
I'm extremely excited about 2026. I'm, in a cheesy way, excited to see the Health Policy Institute data come out. I can't wait to hear what doctors
Ah,
think about 2026. I'm excited about with Strawman in our direction that will be going. And hey, who isn't ready for a new year by this time of year, right? Like, I'm ready.
well, I'm getting old. And so the older I
Mm,
get, the faster the years go by. Does that
I
happen to
know,
you
this
too?
is a blur. I was at Thanksgiving this year kind of just in disbelief. It was like it didn't feel like Thanksgiving, like, it went so fast, and I feel like I'm gonna feel that way at Christmas this year too. It's just a
Oh,
blink of
it'll
an
be
eye.
here tomorrow. Not
I
not
know.
really tomorrow, but in a few
Literally.
days, but it feels like it, right?
I know. I mean, the memes right now of, like, pushing to January or, like, not being able to work are, like, so real because it's like there's just with the short time between Thanksgiving and Christmas this year, I think we're all feeling the crunch and the anticipation for a little bit of holiday, so it's there,
Well,
it's real.
and I know a bunch of implant reps right now, as you do. We both came up in the implant game where it's like, this is it. It's like, what's the date today? It's the 18th. So you
Yep.
really got till maybe Tuesday, probably Monday of next week, if
Yeah,
that,
or
trying to
get
get
that
big
order
orders in.
in.
Yeah, good
Yeah,
luck. Good luck, guys. Hey,
I
docs out there,
know.
do your rep a solid if you love them. Place a huge order, okay? It's
Place a big order, or start asking, "Do you need this?" They
yeah,
might be like, "I need a
absolutely
fast
you need
start to
this.
January."
Uh-huh,
You never
uh-huh.
know.
Yeah, you
Yeah,
never
but it is
know.
that time. Yeah, I do miss a little bit of that, and then I can't remember how much digital equipment you had with your timeline of departing. But
Oh
this
god.
this digital equipment in their bags makes it, like, even more dramatic, right?
Oh,
Getting that
100%. It's
out in
like,
the
please
POs.
God, let it deliver before, January 1st. It's
Yes.
gotta deliver.
It's gotta invoice. I gotta get it out the door. So, that's, like, as a sales leader, it will be this is my first year not as a sales leader, people asking about cutoffs and what's still in stock. So I have, like, a little PTSD, a little bit of missing it. I don't know exactly which one it
100
is,
I
which
know
day.
exactly what you're talking about. It's the best
Yeah.
and the worst time of the year for a sales rep.
Yeah,
Just
it's
depends
the
on what's
most
going
wonderful.
on.
Yeah, it's the most wonderful time of the year. I
Well, and a little shout out to all these reps again. Hey, if you're not gonna hit your quota or you've already hit your quota, no sandbagging. No sandbagging. Get those orders in. Help your managers out, you know what I mean?
Yeah, start asking people, "What do you need from me? What do you need from me?" Although, be smart. Don't get caught, Be
Oh,
smart. Do what's best for
100%.
you.
100%. Well, let's fill in everybody in a little bit on your background, right? Let's talk about like
Well, let's see
came
that.
out as like kind of a fast forward version of who you are, kind of where you started and how you got into dental and to where you are now. And then I'd love to learn more about what what does it mean to be the senior director of practice growth?
Yeah. So the fast forward version, it does start out with me working at a resource in Tulsa, Oklahoma, at a Bank of Oklahoma. So I was a finance person. I worked at a bank. It was 7 days a week. I came home smelling like fried chicken because I was in a grocery
Mm.
store because it was like you could move
Oh,
up
it's
through
like,
it fast,
what kind of bank
Yeah,
is it? A food
I
bank?
know.
Like, what are we
Yeah,
doing here?
well, it kinda was, right? But it had a Starbucks in it too, so we kept it classy, right? But it was I was working in finance, and I had been, like, a pre-med person, and I had a friend that worked at Tulsa Dental, so the old endo version of
Sure.
Dentsply. So that's how I got into dentistry was I started working at Tulsa Dental. I was an inside territory manager for 3 or 4 years, just, like, hammering, right? Like, 60 calls a
Hammering that
day.
phone. By the way,
Hammering, dialing.
I hated making calls, right? Like
It's
phone
hard.
calls when I
It's
sold
hard.
copiers out of school. Every
Yeah.
Tuesday for half day, it's like you got to get in here and make phone calls. I'm like, I suck at this.
Shane every day, all day. But you know why I took the job? I got off at 11:30 on Friday, so I had Fridays off, and I was like, "I think I could like dentistry. I think this might
Yeah.
be a place for me." So then I remember I flew to Minneapolis to interview for a territory manager role. One had opened up with a RSD I'd been working for, and loved the guy. Great interview. At the end of the interview, I asked him, like, how many months out of the year is it like below freezing? And he got to 9, and I told him to stop. And I was like, I don't know if I can move from Oklahoma to Minneapolis, but I did. Carried a bag, sold good old Pro Taper and Wave One for several years. And my first leadership opportunity was with Astra in Philadelphia. So I moved over to Philly, worked with Astra, got my Atlantis experience, more lab experience,
Yep.
definitely than on the endo side. And 2019, got a call from industry buddy. We all have them, right?
Oh
And
yeah.
she was leading a team in the Chicago area, and she's like, "Hey, have you heard of this implant neonate?" And I laughed and said, "No, I have not heard of this implant
What
neonate. What are you talking about?"
this little
Yeah,
brand of
this
nobodies out of South
little old
America?
thing. Yes, yes. So
Whoops.
it was crazy. I was in Oklahoma on Easter for Easter weekend, and she called me on Good Friday. It's just like, how you remember it because you were where you're at. I went to the mall, bought a suit, hopped on a flight, interviewed at the Nashville airport. By the time I landed, I had an offer from a Straumann Group. And so, like, in a blink of an eye, I was relocating back to Texas and started my journey in the full arch market with Neodent in Texas in 2019. And was it a ride? It was
Well, I'll tell you
crazy.
what, too, because I was with BioHorizons at that time when Neodent
Oh,
first came
yeah.
out,
You guys
and
hated us.
I was kind of, oh yeah, 100%, right? Um,
We would not have
I,
been friends in 2019.
no, no,
I mean, we
and
would have, but.
I focused on full arch, and a lot of my accounts at that point had like helped them get established and help them
Yeah.
grow. The
Yeah.
problem with that though is like it's not at the beginning when they need all the help at the beginning, right? Once they
Yeah.
get in a routine, they don't need as
Rolling.
much help anymore. And so a lot of these my, former clients when I was with that company were like, "Hey man, have you heard of this implant?" I was like, "Oh my God." And I used to know everybody else's implants better than a lot of their own reps did. And I'm like trying to find the angle on this implant for full arch. And I'm like, I can't find it.
It was a
Like
tough
this
one.
is scary. And it's a lower price at the time.
Oh,
And this to
man.
that. Right. And that
It
was before
was.
even Straumann Group acquired him.
When I
So
was
I
with
mean,
Astra, I had like it's like one of those moments you wish you could pull back. I was meeting with a guy that was using Anklos because Astra had Anklos and Astra at the time, or EV. And he was like, "Yeah, this Neonet rep came in and they were saying that I could mill zirconia in my lab and like deliver it the same day." And I'm like, "That's impossible. Only
yeah,
labs
that
can
doesn't
do
exist.
that's like not a thing." And then I learned like how I just
I
like
know.
should eat
I
those
know. I
words. Like
took
I
the
almost called him.
Zircons tour because it's up here in Atlanta. They have one of
Oh
their showrooms,
yeah.
like, and I'm like,
I've
"Oh,
been
no."
yeah, it is. It's like the Zircons on tour is in and of itself a very like cool, like
Oh, yeah.
Italian, like experience, but I digress. So came to Neodent. I was a RSC and then an area sales director with them. And I started a little project about this time last year in preparation for NASM called Practice Growth Multiplier with Neodent. So as the area sales director, I was leading this initiative to increase our dental IQs amongst our sales team.
Yep.
about what it really truly takes to run a profitable practice. There's this, and I remember meeting this with people when I was like kind of being a sponge and learning on it. And my like to say that I learned more in 6 months than I had in like 12 years is an understatement, right?
Sure.
I was meeting these clinicians that were blowing my mind with arch centers. Like I didn't even the first time somebody told me they did 6 arches a day, I
I
was
know,
just
right?
like, "How?" You
Wait,
know,
wait,
like,
wait.
"How did
Who
you
is
do it?"
that? Because we might know them.
You definitely know him. It's Doctor Riyad Mazari is the arch guy in Dallas. You
Okay,
definitely
I
know
don't
him.
know him because
Doctor
I don't know
A.
Dallas. I thought you were talking about like Dan Northup.
Oh, yeah. I
I
didn't
mean,
have Florida, I had Texas at the same
gotcha.
time Dan was, like, turning it out. Yeah. What is he,
I
the
saw
Implant
him
Viking?
do.
He's amazing.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah, I saw him
Yeah.
do 4 arches before lunch one time, and then a walk-in in the afternoon, and I'm just
Oh,
like,
walk-in? Oh
I
my
kid you
gosh.
not, right? Like literally,
Yeah.
this guy walked in, he goes, "Hey, this guy wants to do it." I'm like, so you're gonna? He's gonna CBCT. We're gonna treat plan real quick, and I'm gonna do it. I was impressed actually.
The
Very.
beautiful days of 0% interest and easy
Oh,
financing,
please come
right?
back.
Come
Please
back.
come back.
We
Yeah,
miss you, we miss you,
I
yeah.
know. I mean, are you here? Sorry, ADD over
No,
here. I'm gonna go down rabbit holes.
no.
Are you hearing of as far as like less case acceptance right now in full arch simply because of interest rates?
Biggest pain point I'm hearing right now.
Yeah,
Yeah. I'm hearing it via the reps from pain points right now. Clinicians are always gonna have just a slightly different perspective as the owner operator, but when
sure.
we're really starting to dig around, financing is a big hurdle. And I ran the numbers actually in preparation for the project I was doing last year. So you think 18,000 arch, which is I would say a fair market value if you're in a competitive market for an
Oh
arch right
yeah,
now.
that's
And
very
I
fair.
did 5 years, right? So at 0% interest, that's 300 a month. Today's interest rate, unsecured loan, it's about 18.99%. And you're looking at $470 a month. So you're paying $170
Yeah,
more a month over 60 months just because they can't repo your zirconia,
yeah.
basically, right?
It sucks because like people are, full. I think implants are certainly not as down far as um all in X cases, right?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
what about the overdenture mark? Are you seeing kind of like my prediction was like with the interest rates, with some of the issues going on, you'd start seeing a shift more of overdentures as kind of the entry point there because it's more palatable.
That's like we like to call a missed opportunity in the sales world, right? I
Yeah.
think we all are victims of our myopic vision. So if full arch is your game and that's like what you do, there's this tendency to like trudge along. I have definitely seen that landscape of the hybrid clinics that are serving the denture population that can also do fixed full arch thriving, right? Because their
Yeah.
chairs are staying full and they have options. So if I was to give any advice, right, I would say if you're having a hard time overcoming financing, are you transparent and are you offering options, right? Like we still know that there's the marketing mind. I had this one of my favorite dentists in Duluth, Minnesota, Dr. Chart, super awesome guy. He's always like, you should always give three options, right? If you do nothing, this is
Yeah.
what's going to happen. Here's what I would do if I couldn't afford, and if you were my mom, if it was me, my sister, this is what I would do. And so we got to think about visually giving those options. And I think overdenture is one of the bigger missed opportunities in 2025 when we look back on like that recession or
Yeah.
VOCO environment, VUCA environment but we've had some conversations strategically right now to say like, we can still plan these cases
Oh
with
yeah.
the end in mind, and
Well,
I do see
that's
some people winning.
a great point, by the way, because there's so many people who maybe are doing overdentures, but not thinking of like, oh, well, they can't afford all in X, but just bury those
One
implants a little
day.
deeper. Make sure you'll have enough
Yeah.
space. If they want to
This
upgrade later, and it's an easy
yeah,
upgrade.
it's an easy upgrade, and it's if you can just get someone started today, I'd rather have 2 removables than 1 fixed or nothing at all. Like, what do they say? 1 in the
Oh
wind,
yeah.
2 in the
Well, and
bush?
I do want to nerd out with you a little
Mm,
bit because
let's go.
this
I
was
love
my
being a
my
nerd.
space for so many years, right? But my thought process is this: it's like, well, focus on the overdentures, upsell to all on X, but Do you see like a change in that? Because like, let's talk about a dentate patient, right? A patient with teeth, I would say if they're going to move to overdentures, you don't immediately load, which you can do that with overdentures, by the way. The research
Yeah,
shows that the
yeah,
success rates are the same, but most
yeah,
people don't. But like,
yeah.
let's talk about lowers just in general, because that's an easier conceptually for a lot of people. Um, I don't think dentate patients appreciate what an overdenture is on the lower until they've actually had a denture. Because
Oh my gosh,
if you
yeah.
take a denture patient with lower denture and give them an overdenture, life changing. You take a
Yes.
dentate person, even with shitty teeth that are about to fall out of their head, they don't appreciate it. Like it's
No,
not the same thing.
no. They haven't really felt the pain of eating with dentures or the speech impediment or lack thereof, and it's I do think once you've had dentures, it's easier to talk about the standard of care being that hybrid option or the removable option, because you're right. Then you can really process how much your life's changed. But yeah, sometimes
So delay, docs, delay if they're dentate, right? They don't appreciate you until they go through the pain.
I know. Or you do the steps and you let them come to that conclusion on their own. Yeah, but it's really tough and you're 100% right. I could never argue that. I do think, yeah, like my cruddy teeth were better than these removables, and you're like, let me take the caps off this and you can wear them home for a few days and then you come back and tell me which one was better. Yeah.
One other question for you, since we both kind of been in the space a long time, but we still know a
Yeah.
lot of different people. I put this out there for a number of years, right? We've got digital labs, people have mills, they have printers. You can do pretty much anything in house now, right? If you really want
Yeah.
to.
Yeah.
And I always wonder why, right? I mentioned the success rates from the literature show that immediate loading of overdentures
Uh,
versus delayed load, it's the same thing.
right.
In particular with the lower, right? Upper is a different scenario.
Yeah.
Why is nobody marketing? And I pushed this to a number of DSOs. I'm like, you guys should like push this. I don't need any money for this. Just do it, right? Is same day placement of those implants and immediately loading of the denture. I mean, if you do it right, it's supposed to rest on the tissue anyways, but you could
Yeah.
still have the retention. Have you seen anybody kind of promoting that?
I have never seen anyone promote it. I
Well, I
agree
think
with you.
you guys should take it and run then.
You're like, run with it. The biggest thing, and I think of some of our big denture clinics, and I know you're affiliating Dr. into, I think their concern is less about the product and it's patient compliance. You
Oh, well,
snap that thing on and they start eating apples, regardless of like what they tell them to do. I mean, the stories we hear with fixed, and then you have a removable piece to it. And so I wonder, I wish there was more studies
just put the
outside of
black
that about
low
compliance.
retention ring on, right?
Yeah.
Lowest retention.
Yeah.
Like, do that. Just something to
Yeah.
keep it a little more stable there, but I don't know. If anybody's listening, go ahead, steal it.
Try it. Try
Um,
it. Let us know. You actually bring up a really good point, though. The black retention ring. This whole concept of fixed removable is like a weird,
it
I
is
think, like
weird.
a weird situation to me. Just offer a highly retentive removable that's harder to get out, right? Instead of this fixed removable concept where you're adding more componentry, and a lot of times they're charging more for it, which seems like
Somebody here is definitely was with Dentsply because they're talking about Conus right now of all those
yeah,
things.
yes, yes. I mean, I think Conus is, I'm like, put us on the platform. Neodent would love to have Conus as like that other piece. But I mean, Zest has a fixed removable option, and I've
Like
I've
the
had a lot of
Rhine
conversations.
83, the Rhine, I
Yeah,
think
yeah,
there's
yeah,
Italian that different companies have now where you could
yeah,
screw it on to, but it's like these hybrid things. It's nobody's quite figured out well, let me rephrase that. Doctors who believe in that have figured it out, right? But the
yeah, yeah,
industry has not really figured
yeah.
that out as a
Like the
whole.
place, the pricing, the patient offerings. So I think there's opportunity there. But like when you say black, I'm like, why don't you just put a removal in that was really retentive? Like that you can, that's predictable to you. But I'm sure
Okay.
someone's out there listening saying that's dumb. You should do it because of this. So
I'm
I'll
gonna
let
get
you.
us back on track since
Yeah,
I
let's go.
completely went off road over here. Okay, that was on
Any
me.
shiny object, squirrel.
Oh, absolutely every time, right? So we've gotten through before I rudely took you away from your story
Oh, you're
to
fine.
nerd out on the implant game. So you were with Dent Supply, then you
Mhm.
were with Neodent. as a
Yeah.
regional manager, as an area
Oh,
director,
yeah,
which
yeah, yeah.
if you guys don't know, that's a big deal, by the way. So just so you guys know who Jamie
Oh,
is.
like a big deal. Yeah.
Yeah, no, it absolutely is. And so your Neodent, which is a Straumann Group company,
Yes.
now tell me about you're now the senior director of practice growth. What is that like? That's a new role, right?
It's a new role. So Straumann did have pre-pandemic, like a lot of other, you know,
Hmm.
segments of our business, right? This small unit that was working on practice growth, primarily for the Straumann Group, so the premium brands. And the last couple of years of high interest rates, all the complications we just kind of touched on lightly, really has driven them to refocus. And they did a lot of internal research, or what would that be? Independent research, third party research, with our surgeons, with referral
Hmm.
bases, with dentists. And then there's tons of other great sources that we can reference too. But in today's economy, in today's market, dentists are looking for more out of their manufacturer reps. Like they're really looking for more guidance, and there's definitely, in our times in the field, we are specializing, we're differentiating, we're like challenger babies, right? So we are providing solutions, we
Yep.
are differentiating ourselves with those solutions. We are doing a lot of those types of differentiating things within the field, but that's very driven by an entrepreneurial spirit by the actual territory manager,
I call it
and doctors are.
intrapreneurship, right?
It is. Yeah, it's like running your own business, but with like
It
house
is.
money, and you're as creative and as successful as you need to be. And there's different times. So through this practice growth multiplier and the neonate initiative, it really started to open up, and research started to support the demand for it. And what is keeping our clinicians up at night is not the osseointegration of their implant. It's not if they can immediate load or not immediate load, or if they should get a lab or not, which I hope we touch on at some point today, because I my perspective has changed a lot about in-office labs and the
Uh-huh.
role. Um, and we know that they're looking for us to help them solve from the pain, those primary problems that are, oh, we have been doing, but have we been doing it with an intentional, conscious strategy? But educating their
Yeah, whereas
patients,
the
yeah,
individual rep or the manager may know of this based on experience, but as a company as a whole, it's a different
right.
thing.
Like patient education materials, training courses. They are, you know, if you're asked a consultant what practice growth is, even our definitions are different because of the lens that we look through or what we
Oh
specialize in.
yeah.
We all agree on the common goal, but even within the clinicians, their common goal might not be to add production. It might be, I want to keep production flat and I want to work less days. So there's all these different perspectives and ways that we look at it. But Straumann has an amazing lens. We provide digital workflows so we can consult on that. We have digital sales specialists. We have territory managers that help support and grow referral groups. But when it comes to treatment coordination, in office coaching, just kind of guidance,
Yes.
the structure hierarchy, that's,
Beyond the clinical, right? Beyond the
yeah.
clinical. That's the biggest part to get cases in the door.
Yeah, and that's how we drive new patients. And there are, a lot of really interesting things in the market now. We have medical billing, AI marketing. We have great partners like yourselves that are talking to them about social media and how to navigate through that. Those are really important subject matter
Mhm.
experts. But I do believe there's a segmentation of that kind of walk before you run. And I do think that there's
Oh,
an
God,
area
yeah.
where we've got to really start helping them navigate tough decisions by introductions or basic resources that they can start to implement, and help just be a sounding board for that. Because in a lot of ways, like you and I just touched on, we are doing it. Territory managers are doing it because of their knowledge. We've got to connect the dental IQ of our longstanding clinicians, or our longstanding territory managers, our services, our leadership, right, on the
Uh-huh.
manufacturer side, and say, we put this together and we think we can be of value to you here. And these are the tools and methods that we can bring to you that will make you successful in your practice or set you out on the right path.
So
And
kind
and
of
that's kind of what,
identification of the individual's kind of goal, want, or need,
yeah.
and then matching them or aligning them with the help or resources for that particular goal, not a
Yeah.
one size fits all for everybody.
Yeah. Oh, and I know you experience it all the time. You talk to clinicians. It's a lonely job to own a dental practice.
Oh,
You're
yes.
so lucky if you have an associate or a partner that you can trust and confide in that has a long-standing relationship. The majority of doctors are out there pioneering it on their own. There's some amazing, amazing like influencers and clinicians that have, that are willing to share because it was so tough for them and they don't want people to go through it. We know they go to dental school, they don't go to business school. We know that it's isolating. You don't want your staff to think if I can't add production, I don't know how I'm going to meet payroll or
Oh,
we know
yeah.
their student debt.
Massive overhead, you
Huge,
know?
massive overhead. We've talked, I chatted about it before too, the Health Policy Institute. The three pain points that doctors experience are the things definitely as reps and marketing companies and educators that we forget about sometimes. Overhead costs, staff shortages, and if you're still accepting insurance reimbursement rates not increasing. These are the things, and these are tough problems to navigate. And I'm not
Oh,
here saying that
yes.
we have the solution, but sometimes we think, oh, your problem is, do you want to place that BioHorizons or the Neodent implant? It's like that's the least of their worries most of the day, but we're in there championing that. So we can change the conversation if we can help them. We're looking to drive a little brand loyalty, right? And
Of
and
course.
and also we're able to, it's I know you can relate to, when you're a sales rep and let's say you have a scanner, right? And you've
Mhm.
like kind of talked to him about it and you go about your ways, you're in your leads, you're setting up all your new accounts, you pop into your bud, right? You're like top
Yep.
doc that buys a ton of your stuff. And here's this scanner that's not yours that you could have sold them. And that's like one of the
"What the f
worst
are you
feelings.
doing, doc?" Yeah,
Yes.
I've had that conversation before too. It's
Oh
like,
yeah.
"Bro, I sell that,
I
and
know.
I've told you about that." "Oh, I forgot." It's
Oh,
like,
I forgot I
"Re
didn't know.
return it?"
I know.
Right
Put
now.
that right back in the box. We're gonna tape it
Oh,
up. We're sending that back.
yeah, for those not in the sales industry, that is like a dagger to the heart when it's like your account, right? Like your buddy, like you've
Your
helped him get
bud.
established, you've worked with him for years. And then you could see just one box of a $50 product from a competitor, and you're like, what are you
What are
doing?
you doing? You're cheating
Like,
on me.
get them out. They're like, well, it's not a big deal to them. It's like, I don't want their toe in here.
I
I
don't
don't
want
want to
it.
like,
Don't buy their
yeah,
materials. It's all a
yeah,
game. They're just trying to
yeah.
get to know
Give
you.
it to
They're cheating.
me. Give it
I
to
know.
me. I got to feed
It's so
kids.
true. So we can help navigate those purchases. Straumann Group has an amazing end-to-end workflow for full arch or for singles. There's a lot of
Oh
cool
yeah.
things they're doing on the single space and Straumann Group with the anatomical healing abutment that really saves on chair time. But as a manufacturer, we get stuck in the sciencey, nerdy stuff, which is
Of
great. And I
course.
think I always sold on science, especially in endodontics. Astra's definitely a heavy science sell. Neodent, like you said, poking holes, we really kind of took for granted a lot of the function and all of the thoughtfulness Dr. Tomei put into the design of the GM implant. But we
He
don't
did
do a
he
great
did he did
job.
good.
He nailed it. He nailed it.
Yeah.
He's a celebrity in Brazil. I wish he could have gone to Brazil this year. He's Brazil's just going to visit him in Curitiba and experiencing the people in the unit. Like then you start to understand how the culture is like
We'll
why it
figure
is
out
in North
something where we need to
America.
all it needs to come in to film it, and I
I
may just
got it.
come too,
We got to get you there. And it's like we talk about that stuff and it is cool and it's very important, but when it comes to implants with Straumann or Neodent these days, we expect it to be amazing, right? We don't want any issues. What we don't do a great job conveying is anatomical healing abutment, for example, can save chair time. We can save the amount of times your patient wants to come. And I remember, I don't know if you know who Ben Johnson is. I was listening to him lecture at the U of M. This is ages ago. And but it was so funny because this guy like he literally invented obturators, which if you don't know what endo is, it's like how they fill the drill and fill, right? It's like a really
I'm
fast
gonna interrupt you
3D.
right there. I was an implant rep. Rip that bitch out and let's
I
throw some
know.
metal in
I
there.
know. Like 90s that success rate sucks. You need an implant for life. Yeah, I do. But it's, hey, it's the roots that you come from. But I just loved his like, hey, if I ask somebody, do you want to have a dental procedure? Do you want to come 4 times or do you want to come twice? He's like, 100 out of 100 people are going to say twice. Like, but we sometimes forget about the practicality of the patient experience, right? Like, not how they were welcomed or the tour of it, but like, let's just get down to the roots of that. That's better for the patient, but also what can that do to the flow of your practice, to the scheduling of your practice, and to
Sure.
imagine, I mean, as implant reps, right? You don't have to pull out the healing button and screw an impression post and glue it up, right?
Oh,
You don't even
huge
have to
time
put a
savings.
scan body in. You can just scan it in the mouth, which this technology's been there for a while. But when we come to it, these are the aspect we look at it is very scientific.
I
It's not always look through for the patient experience or the
I
clinician.
always thought about this too, right? So just the impression components, forget about the efficiency of it all. What if you forgot to order them? What if you got the wrong size? What if this or that? And
It's
to
like
me,
the
that component right there. I mean, how many calls as a rep did you get of like, we forgot to order this referral, got forgot to order this. Do you have one? Can you take
so
it out? I
many,
mean, I
so
can't tell you
many.
how many times I called one account, get to another.
That's that's where you're getting. Yeah. That's
Yeah.
exactly what I'm thinking about is we had a fire drill yesterday because there was a part and piece missing. And even though I'm not in the same role, I still know a lot of doctors in the local area, right? So I'm
Hmm.
texting, do you have this? Do you have this? Do you have this? And it, the patient's in the chair, right?
Oh
At this
yeah.
point in time, they're in surgery and they can't finish the case without the part and piece they're missing. And I used it all the time in sales. I would just say, imagine the room set up right and you switch sizes during surgery of implants, so your assistant goes, they look in the bin, it's
Sorry, we don't have a
empty.
multitude development or impression profile. Like, what do you do?
What are we gonna do, right? We're gonna send this patient home with like an impression coping in that I soldered off and like stuck something on top of.
We've seen it.
If you're MacGyver, right? Or you thought of that, but that is like such a spoiler in their day. It's a terrible thing to do, and the patients like are so important and so vital to them that they're just like, "Oh, no." So, yeah, worst feeling ever. So, it's we've gotta really kinda point out those benefits and, like, yeah, if an anatomical healing abutment is placed at the surgeon's office, I'm, like, really going on aha today. I don't know what my kick is. It's just, like, in my brain.
I don't
The
know.
lab,
Let's do it.
it's like the emergence profile matches. The lab knows what it is. The lab digitally knows
That's
what the
a
piece is.
huge deal, right? Because you
Yeah.
know the emergence profile. You don't have to guess because, like, what some people don't realize if you don't restore a lot of these things is you may the impression coping may not, or the excuse me, the impression coping may not match the healing abutment. And so, unless it's a really good impression, it may be impossible to get that thing in there, right? Seated properly.
And now you're having to numb the patient, cut back the
Remove
tissue. Probably
tissue.
gonna have
Yeah.
to refer it over to our good buddy Plaque China to fix all that gingiva that you worked so hard to form, and he's gonna have to put it back, right?
Let- Now let's talk about what you want to talk about. You want to get
Oh,
into
yeah.
the lab side.
Oh.
I don't want to miss that.
I just Zirconzon came up, and there's been in the last, I would say, 3 years, this surge, and this is definitely arch related, right? Of really great digital workflow arch labs that are just like, you don't have to be on site because we struggled for years to find lab technicians, and lab technicians, they pop
Make it
around.
happen. If you don't have a good
Yeah,
lab tech for a full arch case, you are not going to
yeah.
have a great full arch case.
Yeah, and so if you're starting out, right? Like, I'm not saying don't have a lab if you're doing 90 arches a month. Absolutely, you got to have your own lab. You like need that control. But that's a big step that is overlooked, and we start talking about getting a mill and training a lab before we really talk about like the value. I think the break even with one of the labs I was talking about, they're like at up until 20, you're better outsourcing 20 a month. You're better
I would
outsourcing
agree.
to
Yep.
us. And I think that's fair from the lab's perspective. They were doing like they're had the right narrative for doctors to say like, hey, up till 20, it just doesn't really, I mean, think about they can be there either second stage pickup or day of surgery. You can send files, it can be planned within 30 minutes. You can be printing a temp that can be delivered and within another 45. I think I'm being conservative too. And your
Well,
patient could leave
I
with a
think the
temp that
ability
day.
for I think there's a new methodology that could happen here too, and I kind of predicted this a few years ago. It's well, the design is really the the part of this, right? For a final, anyways. And
Yeah.
where you're going to have somebody who may not be as savvy on that side, but can finish really well,
Oh,
right? And
yeah.
that's usually going to cost you less. But like, why haven't we seen like, there's Fiverr out there for, I need a graphic design or I need an animation or this or that,
Yeah.
where it's just this warehouse of like remote,
Designers.
I design this, it's all digital. You haven't seen that really explode in the industry yet, and I wonder why. Like I know I can't say, but I know of, and I know you know of a lot of groups are kind of looking at that or have kind of
Yeah.
started that model, but you haven't seen it really explode yet. Do you see that
I've
happening?
I've to certain groups said, "You do design only," right? Like, we can keep your designers busy. We can help with that. From the lab space that I've talked to, when I'm like, "Hey, can you just do design?" Like, they want the final, right? Like, that's what they want. Like, that's the piece for them. But believe me, there's some days like you know, you've been there bouncing around and traveling for work. Like you're sitting in an airport delayed for 3 hours. And I'm like, you know what?
Yep.
I could probably just design arches from my home
I
all
would
day
suck
long,
at it.
every day and hire people. I probably would be, we would get good at it. It might just take us longer. But I do think it's definitely a pain point in the business. I do think there's an opportunity there, and I'm surprised we haven't seen more. But the labs have invested so much. So I think, like you're saying, it is just kind of this new startup point where it's like, I can
Well,
design it.
and then with AI, right? So let's look at
Yeah.
like Seric. Seric's been around for almost 30 more years now,
Yeah. They've
right?
been around a while.
And the design side of that used to be the biggest challenge, whereas now you're making adjustments because they have so much data on crowns for that size or this or that. And so it's able to kind of like pre design and then you adjust. I see that as if we can get more data on the digital files. The problem is there's no central aggregation of all these cases and designs yet. If that happens, then AI, you could basically take all that data and know this is good, this is bad, right? And pre-design a case out, and then you're just doing the finishing touches to that.
Yeah,
So, like, somebody's gonna snag this and make $1 billion company. We made somebody else rich.
I
That's what's gonna
know.
happen.
Call us, we'll help. Call us, we'll
Yeah,
help. We'll consult on the
I'll
deal.
consult. Give me some money.
Consult. I know. We'll try. Yeah, and it exists, and that's I don't know, we're probably the generation too where I'm, like, learning how to use AI for, like
I call Blake, my business partner, and say, "Hey, dude, what do I do?" And
I
then he
know.
says, "Say this to the AI." You have got to see this guy. It's like I don't know what to call him.
He's
Like
the
kind
Rosetta
of an
Stone of AI in your life.
wild because the way he speaks to it, the way he prompts it, like it is we were having a brainstorming session. We used ChatGPT for that, and I he talked like 5 minutes straight to chat, and I'm listening as he's doing. He's like, "You have anything else to add?" I'm like, "No," because the way he phrases it is for the like it's insane. So again, sorry
Okay.
to take the topic,
Blake,
but
about to go on my speed dial for all my
oh yeah,
AI problems and issues. I love it.
100%. Yeah, you need a TikTok video, or you need me to crop your head on some superhero. I got you covered.
I got you.
But for the really intelligent stuff, Blake, that's the guy.
Yeah. But I think like to like full circle, right? Our docs are trying to have to decide like what AI they pay for, what AI they incorporate, what's good, what's not good. And I think, that's why a territory manager is so important, right? That we're informing them and that they can help like that didn't go well, or I have someone else that I know that's doing this and it's successful. And doctor testimonials are so important. So as we start to gather those and become like a resource pool for our docs, not we're never going to be the end all one stop shop experts. That's why I think a lot about the segmentation and walking before running. It's
Hmm.
kind of like we can lead you to this path and then you're going to go on your journey and you can go as far as you want. You can invest as much as you want, but it's really helpful to get kind of that head start in the right direction. And there's never and we kind of were we came up on it, when I used to be in the field as an RSD a lot, and especially when I was meeting a lot of these like mind-blowing clinicians in Texas, like the late night 2019 pre-pandemic, and be like, don't give away my secret sauce.
I
I
know.
can I can tell you there is no
So
secret sauce.
there's
Like it's
not a secret
a
sauce.
culmination of and they're taking what they like, what they're great at, what their staff
Yes.
has, this person and the really, really high production guys it's not a secret. It doesn't matter what industry, and they hired talent. They trusted the people they hired. They played up to their strengths. They downplayed their weaknesses or outsourced it. And so there wasn't one guy doing the same thing. There was no secret I was keeping. I wasn't sharing amongst them, but I was like, you think that I can't even begin to replicate what you're doing next
Yeah.
door. Now, are
The
there
the
found
key
yeah.
the key phrase is there, in my hands. In my hands, this works.
My
In
practice
my
in my hands.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Now, are there core components that you have to have? Absolutely, right? Like those are that started the language we've started to educate our sales team with so they understand and within a practice, and this is how we arrived at practice growth multiplier and unit. And I'll give Mike credit. He's our VP of sales, Mike Graham. When we were in a brainstorming
Shout out to
session,
Mike. What's up, dude?
like I'll give him, we're in this brainstorming session and we had like that like light bulb moment and it's like but now like you can't unsee
Mhm.
it. We're like it's truly a multiplier. That's how we came up with multiplier because if you're a zero in any of these, you're a zero across the board. If your surgery takes you 8 hours, not because it was complicated or whatever, on a regular basis, there's some foundational things we need to do so that you can be efficient to scale. And that's that no brainer. And I give the example. I was staying at a friend's house and they're going through a remodel. It's just like the bathroom's not done. So we were just like using an upstairs bathroom, but it was like during this practice multiplier time, I was like brushing my teeth because the sink worked. It's just like the tub wasn't put in yet. And I was like, it's kind of like practice growth. Like you can't catch water, right? Like it's all got to be there to catch water, right? Like otherwise it's
Yep.
just a huge mess and it's a flood in your basement, right? And that's I think what we lose sight of. It's I want to do this. And so I started investing my money XYZ, most commonly marketing, right? Like I need more patients. So I did marketing. Now marketing to these patients and they're coming through and who knows what's happening after that, right?
That
And
so I always talk about like it's the chain, right? And each
yeah,
link like starts with they become aware of you and then right, maybe it's your social media, maybe it's your website. And then what you got to was now they're calling in and people forget about like never invest like I know these guys who would go to a program and get all excited. I'm going to spend 10, 15, 20 grand a month in marketing now, didn't advise their team on it, right? Didn't realize like you're going to spend that money. Who's taking those calls? Do you know they call in the evenings when they get off work? What is
yeah,
your follow up? You don't follow up for 5 days. That's not going to work. So
no,
it's
somebody else
you,
already called back.
yeah. What you want to spend all this money? Like now that people are having real issues on this because Google changed everything. They've
I
got no
know.
content, and it
I'm
used to
hearing a
be the
lot of
highest
that.
bidder one, and that's over now. And
Yeah,
so you're hearing a lot of that. So to your point, there's different pieces of that journey, and you have to check each one on the way. And before you start pumping straight up cash into trying to get more flow, what happens when that patient comes in, right?
yeah.
Are you closing cases? Are you, is your team trained? Are you just giving them more work because they hate you for it?
Oh
Because that
gosh.
happens too.
Yeah. And I've definitely been in a clinic where somebody was chairside in a surgery and they're doing like the Superman bathroom change. They're coming out like business casual clothes. They're sitting down with a patient, trying to close them on case acceptance. And they're the exception, not the rule, right? They're
Yes.
successful, but that's not for everyone. Not
Nope.
everyone, just the way like I couldn't go in and scrub up and be a great assistant after, talking. And even if we were trained, it's a big shift and not that one can do the other, but that's just a lot to ask of anybody. Like you're in
Well,
this gear,
you're
flipping around.
mentally on one. Yeah, you're on
Yeah.
one plane. It's tough, and especially if you want to scale. If you want to scale, then you have to count on other people and train them and make them love it like you love it. If they love it like you love it, see, it was always easy for me to train team members, like on a one on one or like a singular office because I loved it. And then I
Yeah.
would talk about what the end goal was for the patient and what happened beyond the surgery and beyond because that's what the patient cares about. And that's what the team members care about too. It's like, oh, we helped somebody. It wasn't about the check we just got. We got to change a life. And
Yeah.
I find
That's
that team
amazing.
members love that when they understand the scope of what they're actually doing and they understand that, then all of a sudden they're all in, you know?
Yeah. It's true. And we were even like thinking of the sales team. I remember, halfway through last year, for whatever reason, we were in like a tough spot. It was like a rough month or whatever. And I had I think at one point my team was around like 35, 40 people on our like monthly huddle. I'm like, promise me this week you will go to a final seating.
Yes, it's not just the
Like,
surgery, the seating.
go see the seating. Go see the mirror moment, right? Go see the tears. And I'm such a sucker for these. I cry every time. All my coworkers make fun of me. Like it will get me a patient testimonial that gets me every time because I like get chills of like that feeling that their life's changed and the gratitude in that moment. And that's why you're doing all these crazy things, right? Is to deliver a life-changing moment for a patient.
And
And
from like a marketing guy perspective, like, so I'm always thinking
it
social
doesn't get
media.
better than that, right?
Every doc, or if you're a rep, as long as the patient's cool with it, and they almost always are, get your freaking iPhone out before you hand them that mirror, right? And get them either you think it's in front, no, get behind on the mirror so you can see the reflection of,
Uh,
or in front, and capture that moment. That's a post, and that's a amazing post right
I
there.
saw your post. It's one of them I saw on your TikToks when I was creeping on you guys and was like the three questions you're supposed to ask. And it was perfect, right? It's just kind of like why, what was it like before, and what is it like now, right? And these if you're there in those moments, like it's just unmatched. It's the best. And I love those posts where it's like watch to the end and you can see the patient and they have the mirror in the end. You're gonna get me every time. I am absolutely watching to the end.
100%.
'Cause I wanna see
Well,
the before and after. It's
exactly,
amazing.
and that's what patients want. And by the way, docs, you think that they want to get up in here in the mouth, and that's the before. No, they don't. They actually don't like those.
No.
What patients like and what social media likes is face before,
Yeah. The smile
face after,
after. Yeah.
right? So they want to see the full face because you're thinking about teeth. They're thinking about I'm free, I attractive, I'm this or that. So
Yeah.
understand that you're well. Now that we're kind of flipping to social media, you're kind of
Yeah.
diving a little deeper now to social media too, aren't
Yeah.
you?
I wanna be your patient 0, right? Like, I've done, what you kinda do as a share piece,
Hmm.
like my whole and we had like a joint team account when I was a region in Texas, right? And it was great. And we shared a lot of doctor cases. So I do think it's important to fluctuate with and kind of like practice what you preach, right? We're going to be out here saying you need to do these things, you need to participate in this, and I see it as like this. I'm doing a lot of this in 2026, so it could be just one of the. And I'm at my heart, I'm a science nerd, so that was always
Hmm.
like what clicked with me. So I go back to my days at the Oxley Nature Center or whatever, the scientific theory, right? Like I have
Sure.
this hypothesis. So it's practice what you preach, but it's also look where you can go. Like if I can do it, you can do it, right? So you start here at just like a very low engagement is what I would consider it, like a share account
Sure.
or a troll or just commenting, throwing out those purple hearts or green hearts some days on the
Yep.
Straumann posts these days, sharing like clinical cases, which I think is great. Like we got to showcase our clinicians. I always want to support them, and I think it's incredibly brave to put your cases on social media. I give them
Mhm.
so much credit, right?
'Cause you're gonna get some hate.
You're gonna
You're
get some
gonna get
hate.
hate.
Yeah,
You did
and it's
perfect,
like
don't matter.
don't live in the comment section. But yeah, I reached out to you actually, like in just our natural meeting, and I'm like, okay, you have this expert that you could ask questions about, and then it could go very easily from, oh, I heard this, you should do this, to say, I lived it, I breathed it. If you follow this, and you keep assuring me, you're like, Jamie, this, just listen, I got you, don't worry. But it's so
Yeah.
funny to be on the other side of it and think about being a practice owner or somebody who wants to
It's
be.
so weird, right?
It's
Like,
so weird,
that's
and it's
not
gonna be
me,
ugly,
or
I'm sure, and, like, embarrassing, but you get past all that is what I hear.
yeah, let's give Shane's tips real quick. So,
Okay.
you need to be on social media, and we'll use you as the example, right? And
Yeah.
maybe you're not sure what to post or like what value, right? But the key is value. So everybody starts out wrong, from a business perspective, right? Where it's like you're basically saying, "Give me something." To anybody out there, you're like, "Give me this. I
Yeah.
want you to do this for me." And it's not that. Which you haven't earned the right to ask them. You just met somebody. You're not gonna, "Can I have $5?" You know, it's like,
Exactly.
I just met you. That's an odd question. What you need to do is be the bringer of value. And people get confused on what is that? How do I bring value? Well, okay, you're a nerd like me. You like the science. So one segment of your post could be some scientific study and giving the highlight of that. Hey, read this. Here's the link. If you are having questions about surface technologies and blah, 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 here you go. Or this or that, right? So that could be a series where you do like one of those a week or, every other week. And that's value to somebody. Another one is what I find, especially for practices, and I think in general, people like to laugh. It's so easy to make
Me
funny
too.
videos now,
I love to
right?
laugh.
So yeah, you've seen some of our videos where like the voiceover ones are easy to do.
I
So we
love
do a lot of
yours.
those.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's fun, right? I
Yeah.
force Blake to do them. He hates doing it, but I don't give a shit. So I make him do it anyways, right?
You're like,
So the
you're doing
value,
this. It's gonna be
yeah, the
great.
value transfer there is you made him laugh, right? Or you show like emotional stories, right?
Yeah.
Or maybe you saw at a different office something they're doing for social media. Hey, here's a tip I saw. This might work, right?
Yeah.
Or you happen to know in this role as the practice growth queen, right? Which isn't that your social media handle, by the way?
Yeah.
How do you spell that?
I did it with a KWE, and I think so.
So
Practice Growth
everybody go
Queen.
follow at practice
Follow
growth
me for
queen
join me on this journey.
KWEEN.
Join me on this journey on TikTok. It was my. I didn't even have a TikTok. You've introduced me. I will be just
You're gonna
watching
be
away
you're,
all
you're
the
gonna be
time.
just brain rot scrolling like my kids say. That's what's
I
gonna
know.
happen at
I know.
first. But to that end, in your role as senior director of practice growth, you are inherently going to be with big speakers and people who are kind of the top of the industry in what they do. So this is the easiest part, is because they'll be honored and you're promoting them, but it's also something you share. So right, I got to meet you at your the Need at Full Arch Growth Conference in Vegas. Thanks
Yes.
for the accommodations. My
Yes.
buddy Payman Racy was the host there.
Oh, hey
Sully
Ray, the
Sullivan,
best.
yeah, you got
Sully was there.
Sully.
It was
You got
fantastic.
T-Bone, right? For you, this is pretty easy. Hey, what's one tip you could give somebody? So you're there with Pay Ray. You have to keep him from bouncing around first, or let's use Sully. Sully will stay still. Okay,
Sully.
so
He'll be
Sully, what
energetic,
was
but
the
still.
yeah? So an example of a question, you guys. Sully, what was the biggest challenge for you getting in a full arch and really scaling up? Boom, you just talk. He talks,
Yeah.
and that is the value. So now it may not come directly from you, but you're introducing the value through you, right?
Yeah.
And you've promoted Sully in that scenario. Sully may share his post promoting that's going to help you grow. And then anybody who follows you that gets that information, you've provided value to. And
Yeah.
so at some point you can go, hey guys, we have this amazing program coming up. Now you're asking for something because you've earned the right. So it's the strategy of like getting the habit of filming certain things and understanding, paying attention. You try stuff, doesn't work, and everybody freaks out. What if it sucks? Well, the algorithm's going to know and nobody's going to freaking see it. So not a stressor, right? So
That makes me
worst
feel
case scenario.
better. Yeah.
Yeah. But I was saving it for this actually. So we've been working on a software too. So at All In,
Oh,
we do everything for you at the highest level, right? We can do that. We can bring videographers, run your social media and all that. But maybe you have people internally or somebody like yourself, right? Who
mhm.
I want to do some of this on my own, but I don't really know what to do or how to start. So Blake's, and I'd love to take full credit for this. I cannot. I can only help in the details of it. But it's probably going to be called Practice Engine. It should be launching this year, where it
Very
audits.
exciting.
Yeah. So for a dental practice, you could put in your dental practice, your location, the services specifically. So any specialty, what services you want to promote, enter in your Instagram handle, your TikTok, all of this. It will audit it automatically for you so that you know where you stand based against your competition, right? So if I want to do this,
Wow.
but then it goes a level further, right? Because you need to do that
Okay.
monthly to know,
That's
like,
super
okay, if we're making
interesting. Yeah.
changes, does it, did we make a difference? Did we make a dent? Maybe you're doing great in Google My Business. You didn't know your YouTube channel sucked, right? Or whatever, right?
Yeah.
And so now you know what to fix. You don't know what to fix unless you know it's broken. But beyond that, now, okay, well, what should I do to do that? And then it gives you an exact report of what to do. Oh, and you want to make content for that. Yeah, I want to promote dental implants, singles or dentures, all in X. Yes.
Wow.
What kind of tone do you want to have? Well, I want to be more fun. This is kind of our tone of the practice. Blah, 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 blah. And it spits you out. Okay, here's what you need to post. Here's your 30-day content calendar. Boom. Here's the scripting for it. Do you want to adjust anything? No, we're good. And then boom, it automatically goes on to teleprompter and you just record and then you can add the B-roll and all of that too. So probably going to have you beta test some of this for us. because this
I'm
is kind of a
in.
perfect scenario
I
of
want
like
to be your guinea pig in
you
2026.
you will
Let
be
me
a
know.
guinea pig, right?
I love it.
So kind of exciting stuff that's coming down the pipeline. And this is designed specifically for dental,
That's
because there's lots of
awesome.
AI, but
You need it.
we're teaching the model specifically on this and what's worked in the past. So
I
that
love
should
it.
be launching in January, but we are going to do a beta test. And I already had your name on the list, and you didn't agree to do it yet. So,
You knew I would
um,
say yes.
but to wrap this up,
Yeah.
okay, I'm a dork and I like to play games. So you want to
Okay.
play a game real quick?
Yes, I love games.
So
It's
we're gonna
holiday
play.
season. I'm not
Yeah.
gonna see
So
my family. We always have game nights, so this will be my
oh,
fix.
you're gonna like this. I don't know if you played this before. It's called Famous Jamies. You ever played it
Okay.
before?
No.
That's because I just made it up.
Okay.
So, uh,
Perfect.
so
Perfect.
what I'm going to do is I'm going to give you some information on a famous Jamie, whether it's their actual name or maybe a
Okay.
character they played, and you're
Okay.
going to give
Oh
me.
gosh.
You can at least get half of it right, right? Because you know their first name is going to
First
be
name.
Jamie, but you need to get the last name. All right.
Oh
So
my
you ready?
gosh. Oh
Ready
my
for
god, I
number one?
might do really bad, but I
You
will
might.
try.
You might.
I'm
We're gonna
probably
find
gonna
out.
do bad. I can only think of one Jamie right now.
Uh
Ooh.
oh. Okay. So we're gonna start easy because if you don't get this one, it's gonna be a real struggle. All right.
Okay.
So this guy started out on In Living Color, great show by the way.
Okay.
Starred in movies like Ray and Django Unchained,
Okay. Okay.
and created the song Gold Digger with Kanye West. What Jamie is this?
Jamie Foxx.
That's correct.
Yes.
Well
I'm
done.
so happy.
On
At
to
least
number
I got
two.
that layup. Okay.
Oh
Next
yeah,
Jamie.
yeah. That was definitely a layup. Okay,
Okay.
so she's an award-winning actress.
Okay.
Starred in movies like Freaky Friday, great one, and all the Halloween movies. And she's the face of Activia, which is a yogurt that helps you keep your bowel movements regular.
Yes. Yes. I know exactly
Who's
who
this?
this is. This is Jamie Lee Curtis.
You got it right. You're doing so good. You were
Oh,
so stressed up.
those are all the Jamies I know. Now we're in a tough
Okay,
spot.
well,
Let's
it's
see
gonna
how
get a
see
little
where we
more
could go.
challenging here. All right,
Yeah.
so third Jamie here. She
Okay.
joined the cast of All That, great show, in
Okay.
2002.
Okay.
Her older sister is a former pop star and famous for songs like "Oops, I Did It Again" and "Crazy." What Jamie is this?
Jamie Spears.
What's her middle name?
Is it Lee? No.
Jamie
Jamie
Lynn
Lynn.
Spears, but we're
Lynn.
gonna go ahead and give
Jamie
you that
Lynn.
one too. So you're
Jamie
batting a
Lynn.
thousand.
And
All
Britney
right.
Spears has my birthday. Another Jamie connection.
Oh,
We're both
you're
December
not you're
2nd.
not crazy like her, are you?
I still have most of my hair, and I haven't been carrying around a fake strollers this week, which I heard she was doing last week. So I think we're good.
So far, so good. Hey,
So
that's
far, so
awesome.
good.
All right, we've got two left. All right, so
Okay.
this is actually a character in a show or movie. Okay, so
Okay. So it's a character. All right.
yeah, so actor Wes Bentley played this character, which was
Okay.
Kevin Costner's son
Okay.
in the series Yellowstone. What's that character's name? Jamie what?
Oh, what would he would be the same as the whole family name? What is their name?
Of course.
I watched this.
It started with a D. I'll
D.
give you.
Dunn. Jamie Dunn. Dunn.
Oh,
What is it?
Jamie Dutton. It was
Dutton. The
Dutton
Dutton
Dutton Range.
Ranch.
All
Dang, I
right.
even knew that. That kind of they lost me towards the
All
end
right.
of the season, the last
This last
season.
one is a
Okay.
big deal. Okay. Huge deal. So you definitely need to get this one. All right.
Okay.
Last one.
Okay. Okay.
She's the senior director of practice growth for Straumann.
Okay, okay. I might know her. Okay. Anything else
Who is it?
about her?
No, that's it.
Jami Levine.
Didn't know you were famous. Yes, you
Layup.
are. You're a
That was
big deal
so
in
good.
dentistry. So, well, we're going to
So
wrap this
funny.
since we were supposed to do 30 minutes, almost an hour already.
We did
So, and you've
something
got a
great.
hard
Yes.
stop coming
I
up,
do.
right?
I do. I
Well,
really
thank you for
appreciate it.
joining the podcast. And
Yes.
if anybody wants to reach out to you, right, how can they do so?
Jamie.delevine at Straumann.com is like the easiest way to find me, or
Spell that
find
for
me
them.
Jami, Jaime, if you were to ask Siri, JMI.Levine at Straumann. But I would rather you find me as Practice Growth Queen on
There it
TikTok
is
with a
with
K.
a KWEEN
With a K.
for the queen.
Yes,
All
I'm pretty
right.
sure. Yes.
So you guys follow that. Well, we'll be following the journey. And we'll discuss more off the air of things
Yeah.
we can do as
I can't
well.
wait
So,
till we regroup on this journey. I hope
oh
that I
yeah,
have like
we'll do a
at least a
follow up
daughter
maybe
on
at
the
one of
way.
Yeah, we'll do it at one of
Yes,
your
at an
meetings that you're
event.
doing.
Yes, let's do
That'll
it.
be fun.
I'm in.
So, guys, thank you so much, and we'll see you on the next episode of the All In Practice Growth Podcast.
Thanks for listening to the All In Podcast. See you next time.